Are you wondering if your reaction to divorce is normal? It's one of the most common questions that I get from readers and clients. They will describe, often with some embarrassment, something that they're experiencing. And then they'll ask, is that normal? Do other people have this experience? And so far, every single time, I've been able to respond with, yep, that's pretty common. So one of the common reactions that people have to divorce is a type of mania. And I know it sounds strange. You're like, this is this horrible experience. Why in the world would somebody respond with manic energy? Well, there's a few things that can cause this. One, sometimes you've been like a coiled spring, like those snakes in a can, and now you've been released. And so it can be this exuberance, sometimes inappropriate exuberance, where you're making choices that are impulsive and sometimes not the best for you, along with that excess of energy. Other times, it's not so much the coiled and release, but it's that anxiety, it's that uncertainty, and sometimes that can come out in this energy. Another part of it is, often we're so controlled by fear, and we're worried about the worst that could happen. And well, the worst has happened. And it can give you kind of this devil may care attitude of, nothing can hurt me now. And so that can also be a contributing factor to the mania. Now, some people go the other direction, and instead of a manic response, it's pure exhaustion, where every day, every movement, every action, every thought feels like a complete and total struggle. And sometimes this could be depression, but not always. Sometimes it's just your body trying to process so much emotion and so much change, and you just feel like you've been hit by a truck. And that's okay. The exhaustion and the mania will generally resolve in time. If they don't, or if you are concerned that you're not able to keep up with your responsibilities, or that you're making choices that might harm you, seek help. It's there. Another common reaction is distraction seeking. Sometimes you see this in dating. I can vouch for that one. Did that one myself. Other times, though, it's people throwing themselves into work or into some hobby or into a video game or into, gambling or any other kind of addictive behavior. It's, I've got all this stuff going on over here and I don't like it. It's not comfortable. So instead, I'm going to pay attention to this thing over there. And it's another one of those where it can be kind of beneficial in the moment, because it does give you a little bit of a release valve during those really hard days. But you also want to make sure you don't stay there for too long, because after all, life without looking at it for too long, that's no life at all. Another common reaction to divorce is this strange feeling of homesickness. It's the best word I can think of to describe it. You'd feel completely unmoored. For so long, your marriage and everything that was a part of that was your anchor. And now you're unmoored, and you don't quite know where you belong, and you ache. It's the best word for it. You ache for that stability and that sense of home and belonging that you had before. But this is a weird kind of homelessness, because you can't go back. That home, well, it doesn't exist anymore. So you have to figure out a way to get through it. So one of the things you can do if you're facing that sense of homelessness is do everything you can to recreate some of that sense of home again, wherever you may be. Another common reaction is the pity party, the why me, as you're looking at your friends' Facebooks and their seemingly happy marriages, and you see the young couples pushing the babies and strollers down the street, and you get slammed back to when you were in that same place, and you might find yourself bitter and resentful over the path that your life has taken. It's common. You're grieving. You're grieving the loss of your marriage, but you're also grieving the loss of those dreams that you thought you were going to have. And so it's normal to have that why me feeling, especially when the divorce was one-sided and it's not something that you chose more. It was something that was chosen for you. Again, this is one of those that generally fades in time. Be patient. One final common reaction to divorce is what I call the honeymoon period. And you're like, wait, I thought the honeymoon period was at the beginning of a relationship. Yeah, I think really the honeymoon period is at the beginning of any transition. So with any major transition, whether it be a marriage, a job, a child, or divorce, you have that brief period of time where everything's new, but you don't yet have all the information, and so you haven't had to fully face the realities yet. So in divorce, often this can result in a period of time, either after the initial separation or after the legal proceedings are done, where you feel a lightness. You feel, again, some of that energy, maybe to mania levels, maybe not, but everything feels good, strangely good. And you might even be a little concerned, like, wait, I thought I'd be sad. Why am I feeling this way? It's not an unusual reaction. I think, again, some of it is just that nature of transition. I think some is our body protecting us from major emotion. But it's one of those where there's often a delayed response. And so just be ready for it. There's nothing wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not doing divorce right if you don't grieve at the beginning and get better in a linear pattern. It's just the way that the experience is going for you. So enjoy your honeymoon period if you get it. And if you don't worry. We all end up okay in the end.